We could show you how we design, acquire, maintain, and manage every aviation and missile system. We could show you impressive charts and graphs. We could say the same thing that you'll see and hear 1,000 other times. But the aviation and missile materiel enterprise is no ordinary story. The Aviation and Missile Materiel Enterprise, a true collaboration supporting a unique requirement. The Aviation and Missile Materiel Enterprise is comprised of the U.S. Army Aviation and Missile Command, Amcom, PEO Aviation, PEO Missiles and Space, the Aviation and Missile Research Development and Engineering Center, MRDEC, and the Army Contracting Command Redstone. These 5 organizations are proven experts in their own fields, but it's this collaboration that is at the heart of our success. Today's Army is being asked to do more than was ever thought possible. By providing the best value to the nation in cost, schedule, and performance, the Aviation and Missile Materiel Enterprise meets the demands of our ever-changing world, equipping our warfighters and allies with the best equipment where and when they need it. The results are extraordinary, and our first example of the Aviation and Missile Materiel Enterprise in action is the recent deployment of the 82nd Combat Aviation Brigade to Afghanistan. Due to increased combat operations in Afghanistan, the United States Forces Afghanistan Commander submitted a request for forces, an RFF, for an additional Combat Aviation Brigade. The RFF was approved. After analysis of the available forces was completed, the 82nd Combat Aviation Brigade was selected. The 82nd CAB, already scheduled to deploy to Iraq, was given a change of mission and directed to deploy to Afghanistan, 4 months earlier than their scheduled deployment to Iraq. Other units were selected to fill the aviation requirement in Iraq as the 82nd changed their focus from Iraq to Afghanistan. The compressed deployment timeline and change of location brought significant equipping, manning, and training challenges. The Department of the Army Staff, in coordination with Amcom, PEO Aviation, PEO Missiles and Space, and MRDEC, did mission analysis and assessment utilizing the .LIM-PF model to ensure all requirements were identified and properly resourced. Gaps were identified early and effects mitigated. The Materiel Enterprise developed a strategic plan that allowed the 82nd CAB to meet manning and equipping requirements without significantly affecting training or their deployment timeline. Program managers from PEO Aviation and PEO Missiles and Space utilized Amcom's Aviation Field Maintenance Directorate, AFMD, to synchronize the application of the required Equipment Modification Work Orders, MWOs, with ongoing reset and maintenance actions. The PEOs and Amcom also ensured the required support structure was in place to support the CAB's arrival and follow-on mission. The Integrated Materiel Management Center, IMMC, pre-positioned aviation parts in the 82nd supply support activities. Logistics Assistance Representatives, LARs, were assigned to deploy and support the CAB. While all these efforts were ongoing, the roles of the organizations which comprised the Materiel Enterprise were constantly changing from lead to supporting or supported roles without impacting the 82nd CAB. Through constant communication and a concise and evolving plan, the 82nd Combat Aviation Brigade was able to successfully deploy 4 months early and conduct combat operations immediately upon arrival. Supporting the warfighter is our mission. Utilizing the Materiel Enterprise allows us to do that in the most effective and efficient manner. Another extraordinary example of the Aviation and Missile Materiel Enterprise is the Iraqi Armed 407 program. The government of Iraq had a need for an affordable armed reconnaissance aircraft to provide security and forward reconnaissance to the government of Iraq. Through Aviation and Missile Materiel Enterprise partnerships and collaboration, a commercial off-the-shelf, COTS, Bell 407 helicopter was rapidly converted to a military multi-role armed scout helicopter. The Iraqi Armed 407 possesses high-tech mission equipment such as 50 caliber machine gun, pilot and co-pilot armored seats, GPS navigation system, and a sensor suite for ISR missions. This successful Foreign Military Sales, or FMS case, was made possible by the collaborative efforts of the Aviation and Missile Materiel Enterprise, with PEO Aviation leading the way with program management and control. the Prototype Integration Facility, or PIF, a government-owned, government-operated facility under control of the AMRDEC, handling all non-recurring engineering and integration. In addition, the AMRDEC managed airworthiness. Amcom was responsible for FMS case management, Armed 407 production, and training and management. The Iraqi Armed 407, upon deployment to Iraq, will provide an integrated development, training, and support capability for the government of Iraq, with use for civilian law enforcement and national defense. It will allow the government of Iraq to build up its own aviation capability and our warfighters to come home. Our next example of the aviation and missile material enterprise in action is the OH-58D Kiowa Warrior M3P machine gun. In May of 2008, an operational needs statement formally generated a requirement for a more reliable, lighter, higher rate of fire 50 caliber machine gun to replace the XM296. Through collaboration efforts with all members of the aviation and missile material enterprise, a deficiency for the Army's Scout helicopter was resolved in a matter of months, not years. The Program Executive Office Aviation worked closely with the PEO Missiles and Space Cruise Missile Defense System Project Office to transfer the inventory of the Avenger assets. The Army Contracting Command Redstone executed all necessary contract actions to ensure that funds to purchase necessary materials were in place. Once the machine gun was chosen, Amcom's Maintenance Operations Procedures and Prototype Facility, MOP Shop, took the lead on integrating it to the Kiowa helicopter system, working closely with warfighter requirements. This is a success story in that we were able to respond quickly to a need in theater with a system that was being phased out and put in storage. Instead of developing something new, the aviation and missile material enterprise took a proven, accurate system and adapted it to save money, while accomplishing the mission. These examples are just a small sample of the extraordinary work that happens every day within the aviation and missile material enterprise, a true collaboration supporting our country, the Army, and ultimately, the warfighter.